Hello again, everyone. This is Alan back with another in my series of deck reviews. Today we have two of the bicycle black deck Tigers, both versions. These are both Ellusionist decks. I have basically the plain one with the all white pips, and I have the ones with the red and white pips. Looking at the boxes on these two decks, the only thing that differentiates one from the other is the fact that the deck with the red pips has some red scroll work down in the corners here. Don't know if it can be seen or not in my camera, but there are some red scroll work right here. And on this deck, that same scroll work is white. So there you can see the difference in the two decks. Other than that, the boxes are pretty much identical. They both have the Jack of Diamonds barcode reveal on the bottom. They both have the UV 500 airflow finish listed on the side. U.S. Playing Card Company, Cincinnati, Ohio on the other side, and the backs of the boxes are also identical. So let's take a look at the black deck Tigers with the red pips first. This is a very nice heavy deck, nice and sturdy deck, just like the Black Ghost and the Shadow Masters. Again, having the UV 500 finish makes it a very nice and smooth deck. Nothing about these cards really jumps out. I mean, it's pretty much standard artwork with your basic regular cards with the white pips, and then the red cards, of course, just have the red pips. No color on the court cards with the exception of the red pips where that's applicable. The jokers are your standard bicycle jokers, except they're both the big ones rather than the one with the guarantee on the bottom. One thing I've noticed about this deck, I don't know if anybody else has had the same issue, I have some of the chipping problems. I can hold the deck this way and you can see the corners where it is chipped. A lot of the cards actually, and I don't use these cards, so basically this is how they came out of the box. They're kind of marked a little bit, some white spots and so forth on the cards. So I don't know, maybe these got through quality control without being stopped. But I also noticed on the back of this deck anyway, the borders are not even. It's a little bit wider on this side than this side, a little bigger on the top than this part here. So they're not really well centered. It appears this whole deck is that way. The white pip deck, I think actually is a little bit nicer than this deck. They're nicely centered and everything. But handling wise, they fan very nicely, and you know, they ribbon spread very nicely as well. I mean, it's a nice handling deck. I just don't feel that it's the greatest thing to look at. I wouldn't rate this deck as high as the Black Ghost, because it's just looks like a standard bicycle deck with some definite flaws in it. It's nice for tricks. The black and the white, I mean, really, that nice high contrast is kind of nice. And the fact that they handled pretty well is kind of nice. But overall, to look at, I wouldn't say that it's the nicest deck. The other deck, which we'll pop open, we'll take a look at here real quick. This deck I think is a little bit nicer than the one with the red pips. Has the Ellusionist. This one came with an Ellusionist advertising card, and it came with the other Ellusionist advertising card with the nice artwork on it. This one came in a couple of the other Illusionist decks as well. Now the cards themselves. Now these here, you can see the corners, very, very minimal chipping. Almost none, actually. Only thing, these are just all white pips. Even what would be the yellow card or the red cards are white pips instead of red. But this is a very nice deck as well. Now this deck here, as compared to the one, like I said, this one here is nicely centered. The backs are all nicely centered. I'm not having any chipping issues with these. These fan just as nice as the other ones do. They also ribbon spread very nicely as well. As you can see, they're very easy to handle. They're nice and smooth. Also having the UV 500 finish. So on the Black Tiger deck with the all white pips, I'm actually going to rate a little bit higher than the one with the red pips. I would give the white pipped version, at least my white pipped version, probably an 8, whereas I would give the red pipped version a 7 out of 10. Just because my red deck, for some reason, it's a brand new deck. Like I said, I don't use it. It has some definite flaws on the cards themselves, as well as the chipping on the corners and stuff. So handling abilities on both of these are equal. They're both nice, sturdy decks, great decks for tricks and manipulations. The white on black jumps out, no doubt about that. The Ace of Spades, I didn't show that, is your standard Ace of Spades that's on all your bicycle cards. So that there is, again, nothing to get too excited about. And same with the Jokers with the no guarantee. They're both the large Jokers. So 8 out of 10 on the white pip deck on mine anyway. You may have a red pip deck that doesn't have those issues that I stated that my red deck does. But overall, a really nice deck. I mean, if you want to do card tricks and stuff like that, it's definitely going to be real flashy just because of the white on the black. So, and once again, I purchased both of these decks from Ace King Cards on eBay, who I highly recommend for any decks that you may need. He pretty much carries everything. Shipping is good. $6 priority, up to 14 decks. So, and his prices are comparable to anyone's out there. So that is my quick review on the Black Tiger decks, the white pipped and the red pipped. And thank you for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, please post. And thank you very much for watching.